Today's video is one that I personally struggled through, as I'm not the biggest fan of puppets, dolls, or terrifying statues. And today, that's just what we're checking out. I saw these and just had to show them to you. Let's get right into it. Top 5 places you don't want to wake up in. Number 5, Nagoro, Japan. Nagoro, Japan, now known as Nagoro Doll Village, is located on the island of Shikoku in Japan. The story goes that this remote mountainous village once had a population of about 300 people. But with the decline of Japan's population, that number has nearly fallen to about 27 by 2019. So how did the dolls get there? In the early 2000s, Tsukimi Ayano, whose family left the area when she was just a child, moved back to look after her father. I believe upon his passing, she made a doll in his likeness and placed it in one of the fields. Since then, she has made nearly 350 in the village. Many of the dolls Ayano has made are in the likeness of residents or former residents alike. Many have followed in her path and have made many dolls, 2 of which were done by the last 2 students to attend the village school. They even dressed them in their own clothes. If you can get past the creep factor, it's all rather sweet, actually. Number 4, Snake Island. Ilha de Camara Grande is an island off the coast of Brazil in the Atlantic Ocean. This small tropical island is about the size of 106 acres. The island's terrain varies considerably, ranging from bare rock to luscious rainforests. You'd think such a beautiful place would be inhabited by humans. I mean, there's only a few snakes on the island. Besides, snakes are usually such cute and cuddly creatures. Check this one out yawning. Yeah, I'm gonna let that sink in a little bit. Well, this particular island, dubbed Snake Island, is home to the golden lancehead pit viper, which has a diet mostly of birds. Their venom has become so potent over the years, it kills the birds almost instantly upon striking it. According to some outlets, researchers estimate that there are between 1 to 5 snakes per meter. That's about 2,000 to 4,000 snakes total. The golden lancehead pit viper is responsible for 90% of Brazil's deadly snake bites, and this island is full of them. With having a reputation of a bite that melts the flesh around the wound, it's best to avoid this island altogether. Has anyone actually ever lived on Snake Island? In 1909, they built a lighthouse on the island. But by 1920, they had to make it fully automated due to the death of the lighthouse keeper. Local legend has it that the last Snake Island lighthouse keeper and his family were killed by snakes crawling through the windows of the lighthouse. Hearing this just makes your skin crawl. Number 3, the 10 Courts of Hell. Now this next one isn't so much creepy as it's just terrifying. Sure, there are other things to do in Haw Par Villa in Singapore, But what gets our attention for today is the special attraction called the 10 Courts of Hell. It basically describes and depicts in gruesome detail the torture and punishment one must endure for each sin one commits in their lifetime. Entering into the tunnel, you are greeted by the first court. King Chi Kuang will weigh your deeds out. If your deeds are acceptable, you go to the Golden Bridge and cross over to paradise. If not, you enter the 10 courts. The crimes and punishment range from tax evasion, for which you would be crushed by a stone mallet. If you're ungrateful, your heart will be cut from your chest. Looking at pornography will get your body sawed in half. Spreading rumors will get your tongue pulled from your mouth. Hurting others for one's personal gain will be punished by body dismemberment. Now, the purpose of the 10 Courts of Hell is to teach morals and ethics. There's much more detail that I'd go into here. If you'd like me to delve more on this topic, let me know. The way I see it, we're all guilty one way or another. If only there was someone who could save us from these sins. Number 2. Capuchin Catacombs of Palermo. The Capuchin Catacombs of Palermo are burial catacombs in Palermo, Sicily, southern Italy. Today, this place serves as a macabre tourist hotspot as well as an extraordinary historical record for those who are interested. But the thought keeps creeping into my mind of what it would be like just to wake up in this place. Imagine waking up on a cold, somewhat damp stone floor surrounded by decaying corpses. They say the safest place to be is a cemetery because everyone around you is dead. I wonder if this applies here, when the corpses are sometimes staring back at you. How did such a creepy and disturbing place come about? In the 16th century, Palermo's Capuchin monastery outgrew its original cemetery. Monks then began to excavate crypts below it. In 1599, they mummified one of their own, the recently deceased brother Silvestro of Gubbio. They then placed him in the catacombs. They mummified the deceased through a process of dehydrating the bodies on racks of ceramic pipes and sometimes washed with vinegar. Some bodies were embalmed, while others were enclosed in sealed glass cabinets. The catacombs were originally for the deceased friars who served in the monastery. However, in centuries that followed, it became a status symbol to be entombed in the Capuchin catacombs. In their wills, local people of influence would ask to be preserved in certain clothes or even have their clothes changed at regular intervals. Priests wore their clerical vestments, while others were clothed according to contemporary fashion. The relatives of the deceased would often visit to pray over the body and to maintain the body in presentable condition. The catacombs were maintained through donations from the relatives of the deceased. Each new body was placed in a temporary spot and later placed into a more permanent location. So long as contributions continued, the body remained in its proper place, but if relatives stopped sending money, the body was put aside on a shelf until they resumed payments. There are several famous and recognizable people I'm sure you've seen before here. However, that's a topic for another time. Number 1. Veijo Ronkkonen Sculpture Garden. This last one to me is the most terrifying to wake up in, although I doubt the creator of this sculpture park intended for his creations to leave terror in the hearts of their visitors. It can't be helped due to the not so realistic expression frozen on their faces. The mind is taken to the uncanny valley, which is a hypothesized relation between an object's degree of resemblance to a human being and the emotional response to the object. The concept suggests that humanoid objects that imperfectly resemble actual human beings provoke uncanny or strangely familiar feelings of uneasiness and revulsion in observers. If you want to experience this sensation in real life, head to the Finnish town of Pirkkala in the southeast of Finland. The park is named after its creator, Veijo Ronkkonen. He was born in 1944 and passed away in 2010. He was a Finnish artist and sculptor. During his youth, while working at a paper factory, he started to make sculptures. He finished his first sculpture in 1961 and continued sculpting all his life. Throughout the duration of his life, he made around 450 statues. The park is located on the land where he lived with his parents. Some say he never left his house. He loved to be alone. He made the statues available to anyone who wanted to come and see them. However, he would never come and greet anyone nor speak to anyone who visited the park. He did, however, leave a guest book and a sign for people to leave a note. When asked to have his sculptures put on display in museums, he would always reply with, "I must check with the statues first." Their reply must have always been no, since the sculptures were never moved. The largest portion of the park is the 200 sculptures dedicated to differing yoga poses. What adds to the creep factor is some of the statues have sound effects, while others have real human teeth. My question is, where did he get the teeth from? If you made it to the end of this video, I just want to say thank you for watching, and I so appreciate you. I look forward to our next time together, and I hope you don't wake up in any strange places.